Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like to call the City Council meeting for January 10th, 2018 to order. At this time, we're going to observe our moment of silence, and I think we'd be conscious of the fact as we enter a new year, the many challenges and opportunities that you lay before us. I'm confident and really excited to say our city is really vibrant and strong. And we have opportunities in the future, but we have work to be done. So with all that in mind, let's take a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Alderman Condon, would you lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Alderman Condon. Here we go. Well, Jackie, would you please call the roll?
Ambrose.
Here.
Condon.
Here.
Rawson.
Here.
Dickman. Here. Mattson.
Here.
Grip.
Here.
McGinnis.
Here.
Kluhl. Tompkins.
Here.
Dunn.
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Again, I want to wish you all a good evening, and as we begin our meeting of the City Council, I want to welcome all those in attendance, and also those who are viewing the meeting on television or on the Internet. We respectfully welcome your comments and opinions. Please keep in mind that as you talk to the Council, you are also sharing your thoughts with fellow Davenporters and with viewers throughout the region by way of our TV broadcast. We're happy that you're participating in your city government and ask that your participation reflect the common desire we all share to make Davenport an even greater place for our citizens. For the children, adults, seniors, and families in our community, those in attendance and those watching at home, I thank you for joining us. At this time, we ask that you turn off or silence your cell phones and other electronic handheld devices, as they can be disruptive and interfere with the audio system here in the chambers. You will have an opportunity to address the City Council under Public with Business, that portion of the meeting which will occur towards the end. And when addressing the Council, I ask that you step to the podium, wait to be recognized by myself, and speak to the Council as a body and not to any single member. We ask that you will limit your remarks to no more than 5 minutes in that point, and I ask that everyone, and I know you all will, observe the commonly accepted rules of courtesy, decorum, dignity, and good taste. So thank you all very much again for being here. Will an alderman move the approval of the minutes of the City Council meeting for December 13th? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Our city administrator update. Do we have anything this evening?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. We have a report on the committee of the whole of January 3rd. Is there a motion to approve that, please? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. At this time, we have a couple of proclamations. But first of all, tonight on our agenda, we also have a resolution that will be officially, it's on the consent part of our agenda, which I'll explain a little bit later. But I want to do it now because it really relates to our school system. And Dr. Tate and Linda Hayes, Dr. Tate is our superintendent, Linda Hayes as a school board member, are here tonight. But we wanted to show collectively as a body how important the school district is to us, how we're inextricably tied together, and we want to have a resolution as follows. Whereas the City of Davenport understands the important role schools and students play in our community and the benefits in investing in education, and whereas the City of Davenport, Iowa, recognizes and supports the efforts to amend the Iowa per pupil funding formula, and whereas all districts should be allowed to spend the same per pupil amount and should have an adequate funding so as to allow for every district within the state to remain competitive and provide a world-leading education. And whereas the long-term health and growth of the state of Iowa is dependent upon people wanting to live, work, and play here. And whereas the spending power of districts has been eroding and requires amendment to the funding formula to allow for all equal and adequate funding, it is time, whereas it is time in the long-standing promise of Iowa to provide the best public education in the world to its youth, and whereas this is a critical time for investors to see states, municipalities using funds advantageously to allow for communities to flourish as we transition into the knowledge economy. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved by myself and as mayor and the City Council of Iowa that the City of Davenport supports efforts to equally and adequately fund the Davenport School District and allow all Iowa districts that the General Assembly is encouraged to adopt amendments to the Iowa Code that eliminate the current disparity in per pupil funding between Iowa's children and that of Iowa that led through the way in educating youth. With that, let's do official a vote on that. All in favor? Is it a motion to approve that?
We need a motion, second, and a roll call.
Got you. Second. Motion, second. Since this is a resolution, it is even more important than a proclamation. We have a motion, a second. Roll call, please.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Condon.
Yes.
Rawson.
Yes.
Dickman.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Grip.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Kluhl.
Yes.
Tompkins.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
10 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you. And as you can see, it passed unanimously, and we're all in very support. We'd ask Dr. Tate and Ms. Hayes to come up and like to present the resolution to them. You know, this is important work that you do, and we understand it. We know how important it is to our community. We want to thank you, and we want you to know that we're wholeheartedly and 100% supporting not only equal funding, but all the support you need to make, literally continue to make our district a world-class district. So thank you, Dr. Tate. Thank you, Linda. You want to say?
Thank you so much. Things like this are extremely important to remind people that we're not getting an equal share and our students are not worth less, and the other 163 districts need the same sort of support. So we're pushing forward, and again, thank you so much. We're great partners. We know that we have to support the city. We know that what we do is important to the city, and I'm going to continue what I'm doing, and I've got a great board to help me do it. So again, Mayor, and thank you, the council, for having done this.
Thank you very much. And I want to note Dr. Tate is here, and I wanted to move him up in the agenda. Tonight is Mid-City High's graduation, another great initiative of the school district. So thank you very much, and enjoy the graduation ceremonies. Our second proclamation is for Mentoring Month, and I think we have Alderman Grip will be reading that proclamation.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's my honor to read this proclamation for National Mentoring Month. Whereas everyone remembers someone special, a neighbor, teacher, relative, or friend, who broadened our horizons and brought purpose to our lives. Whereas these special individuals singled us out and volunteered their time to help us become engaged and stay on the right track to success. Whereas every adult has something to offer a child, and every child has something to offer our community. Whereas research has shown that children engaged in healthy and safe one-to-one mentoring relationships are more likely to graduate high school, avoid incarceration, and avoid delinquent behavior. Whereas there are a significant number of vulnerable children in our community who need and want a positive role model in their lives. Whereas our city embraces the concept of engaging volunteers to mentor children of promise in our community. And now, therefore, we, Frank Klipsch, Mayor, and the City Council of Davenport, Iowa, do hereby proclaim January 2018 as National Mentoring Month, and encourage all citizens, businesses, public and private agencies, and religious and educational institutions to support mentoring and give young people in our community the gift of time and friendship through Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Dated this 10th day of January 2018. I move the proclamation.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. And I think we have from Big Brothers Big Sisters John Colazzo and his little brother Joe Rayleigh, who will come up and accept the proclamation. Thank you, Joe. You want to take that? Who's going to hold that? Let's get a picture over here with that. He wants to get a picture. And I think your mom wants a picture. Let's come over here. Come over here without being on the pole. Here, come over here. There we go.
There you go. Awesome, guys. Thank you.
And our third proclamation is for also a very, very important area. We're going to be looking at Human Trafficking Awareness Month. It's a very critical issue, not only in Iowa, but throughout the country and the world. And we're going to ask Alderman Dickman to read this proclamation.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's an honor to read this proclamation. This is a very important issue right here in the Quad Cities, and so I'm glad that we're addressing it. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the United States was founded upon the principle that all people are created equal with the unalienable right to freedom, and added the 13th Amendment to the Constitution making slavery illegal, and whereas human trafficking is modern-day slavery, claiming millions of victims worldwide, and found in the United States most often in the form of sexual exploitation, forced labor, involuntary servitude, and debt bondage, and whereas this horrific crime, which denies human dignity and freedom and fuels organized crime, exists in every city, and whereas even though awareness of this crime is growing, human trafficking continues to go underreported due to its isolating nature, the misunderstanding of its definition, and the lack of awareness about its indicators, and whereas increased community education on how to identify victims of human trafficking, along with increased knowledge of local resources and services for those affected by these criminal actions, can help restore freedom and dignity to identified survivors, as well as help diminish the number of future victims. And whereas fighting human trafficking is a shared responsibility, the efforts by our local community to promote the yearly observance of Human Trafficking Awareness Month in January enacts one of the examples of the continuous commitment in the United States and the state of Iowa to increase awareness and to actively eradicate human trafficking. And whereas the city of Davenport joins Breaking Traffic, a program of family resources, in their dedication to providing community outreach and education, legislative advocacy, and comprehensive services to survivors of human trafficking. Now, therefore, we, Frank Klipsch, Mayor of the City and the City Council of Davenport, Iowa, do hereby proclaim January 2018 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and do urge all citizens to join in this observance, dated this 10th day of January 2018. I move the proclamation.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. And I know there will be no nays to this. We're going to have from Family Resources the president, Mary McCumber Schmidt, who will be here. And I just wanted to note also our former Senator Maggie Tinsman, who's been involved and dedicated to this cause as well. So thank you for being here tonight as well. So Mary, I'll come down and present the proclamation.
Okay. I just want to recognize a couple people that we have here with us today, and I think the city of Davenport should be very proud of the fact that Chief Sikorsky serves on the Breaking Traffic Advisory Council. So certainly the city is very active in our anti-trafficking efforts in this community. We already recognized former Senator Maggie Tinsman, who I also just wanted to recognize as the originator of Breaking Traffic in Iowa, and really due to her advocacy, brought the issue to the attention of the state of Iowa. And then I also just wanted to recognize Deanna Jensen, who's also one of our advisory council members. And we just simply could not do the work that we do without the support of our advisory members. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give them a nice round of applause. There are no, oops.
I too just want to add my thank you and congratulations to you all. We still have a lot of convincing of people that we have human trafficking here, and the average age in Iowa is 13. And we have over the number of people in slavery today worldwide is larger than we've ever had in slavery in the world. So we really need to do something about it. I think awareness starts doing something about it. Now Davenport is putting it in their schools to talk to young people about it as well. So I thank you for your support of this, and I hope you'll talk to your constituents about it. The Chief of Police of Davenport is on our advisory council and is a very valuable member. So thank you.
And thank you, Senator Tinsman, for all the work you've done on this area. Thank you. There are no presentations this evening. Are there any petitions, communications from any council members? And Alderman Dickman, we're going to start with you.
Just wanted to remind everyone that I do have a ward meeting tomorrow at the Fairmount Library. The topic will be a presentation by the Putnam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman Dickman. Alderman McGinnis.
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple of things. Just again, a reminder, Saturday, January 13th is the very first Third Ward meeting of 2018. It will be 10 a.m. at Cedar Memorial Christian Church. We as a council are beginning our discussions on goals for the upcoming fiscal year, which begins in July. And I'm inviting Third Ward residents to join me in a discussion of what they believe those goals should be. So please join me Saturday at 10 a.m. I had another announcement I wanted to make tonight, and that's recognition of the retirement of a community leader who has played a huge role in Quad City housing equity. Rick Schlomer is the director of the Scott County Housing Council. He's retiring on Monday, January 15th. He's the only director the council has ever had since he came to that role 16 years ago. He's a native of Davenport and grew up here. And he's been successful in securing millions of dollars in grants and revolving loan funding from federal, state, and local governments and private foundations and not-profits. He's a really innovative guy, and he's been an innovative leader. He also has overseen the highly collaborative Quad Cities Housing Cluster, which brings together every month groups from across the area who are focused on housing equity, and they're really quite amazing meetings, and he's been a great leader of that. He did announce his retirement early in 2017, and we're very fortunate the housing cluster that Leslie Kilgannon, who is a very experienced housing leader, has been named as Rick's replacement. But I just wanted to take a moment to thank him for his leadership and his vision, and wish him all the best in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman McGinnis. Alderman Klool.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple meetings to announce, but first I just wanted to say that it's great to be able to appreciate heroes and heroines in our community. Former Senator Tinsman, I recall when she first brought up the issue of trafficking with the state legislature, it was not something that was recognized, nor did it want to be recognized. She stood up in face of that doubt and made it clear that it was happening in Iowa. At that time, nobody really believed that it was. So heroines and heroes in our community deserve our respect and honor. A couple of upcoming meetings. On the 22nd of January, there will be a neighborhood meeting at Eastern Avenue Library from 6 to 7:30. The topic of that meeting will be the Elmore Corners Concept Overlay, and the Director of Community Planning and Economic Development, Bruce Berger, will be presenting at that meeting. Second meeting is on the 29th of January, and that will be a 6th Ward meeting, the first Ward meeting of the new year for the 6th Ward, and the first in some time, as I understand it. The topic at that meeting is going to be Costco, talking about some of the recent information that's come about that people may not be aware of. Want to make sure that the community is kept informed on that issue. And both Bruce Berger and City Engineer Brian Schatt will be at that meeting to try to provide information that folks might have about what's happening on 53rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Klool. Just one announcement as well. On February the 5th at noon, I and all of us will be presenting the State of the City message, and that'll be at the Rhythm City Casino in their conference center area there. So there's an opportunity to register. You can register in a variety of different ways. So we'd ask that you do that. And I think we had a great crowd last year. We had about 250 or more people. So we hope we'll have a good crowd again for that this year. Excuse me. I just want to mention one of the things tonight. We're going to go to there are no discussion items on the on the discussion agenda. Just for those who may be new to this process, last week at the Committee of the Whole, every item on the agenda, we go through it, each individual one, giving the community an opportunity to address certain issues and council members. And if there are no discussions, meaning the information was provided accurately and in detail, they move on to consent. So this week, we have a consent agenda. There are no items for discussion. We vetted all those last week, and therefore, as we move forward, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Congdon,
Yes.
Rawson,
Yes.
Dickman,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Grip,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Cluel,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
10 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Are there any other ordinances, resolutions, or motions this evening? Seeing none, are there any public with business tonight?
Ed McWilliams, 5th Ward. I just wanted to let you guys know that I did get a gold medal in the 200-meter dash, even though I did fall, but I was able to get up in time and make up the distance to get the gold. And then I also got 2 bronze in the 100-meter and then the 4x1 relay.
Well, congratulations.
And another thing is the gold medal I win in honor of Buffalo Police Chief TJ. So if Paul Sikorsky would come up here, I could present it to him to give to Chief, if I said it right, Benny.
Appreciate it. I'll make sure he gets it.
Okay. Good job.
And then a second one is to you, Frank, the mayor, for being supportive.
Well, thank you. I'll come around.
Nice touch, Ed.
That's really special, Adam. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get it. Camera's going. Where's the photographer? Oh, there's somebody coming with a camera.
And I got
He always does, yeah. We're going to take a picture.
Could you take with Adam's one or with Adam's two? Thank you, sir. Forget your camera. Good job. Good job. Anyone else? Seeing no one, are there any of the reports? And there are. Report other of city officials. We have a civil service certification list. Will an alderman move the list, please? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. And with that, a motion to adjourn? Motion. Second. Motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.